What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk, Fatima Lafano of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, middle of the afternoon, a little after 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not big news by any stretch of the imagination, but as some of you are aware, if not, you're going to be aware, the national image or appearance of the Detroit Lions continues to evolve and change. This is not your dad's Detroit Lions nor your mom's Detroit Lions. These Detroit Lions have some grit, some teeth, and they're expected to win and potentially even win a Super Bowl this year. Let that sink in. But the national media and landscape across the nation, maybe even the world, it's fair to say, has changed for this organization. You're seeing more and more fans in Germany, Europe. I mean, there are more and more YouTube content creators for the Detroit Lions who are not indigenous to the United States of America. Some of that fame is starting to spread to not only the players, but also the coaching staff. As you probably got a sense from the thumbnail for this video, MCDC, Gambling Man Dan Campbell, whatever you want to call him, he's also being shown more and more in a national spotlight. And that now goes on to Applebees. That's right. The longtime food chain has picked up Dan Campbell to go ahead and help promote them. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. I pulled up the video. Give me a second or two while we get this thing all going. And, hey, we'll all have a gander at it.
Welcome to Applebees. Can I interest you in America's favorite boneless wings for just 50 cents each?
I have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
I'll have the 50-cent boneless wings.
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
I mean, good for MCDC, good for the Detroit Lions, because you are starting to see Jared Goff, Dan Campbell. I think I've seen about 2 commercials for him now. This is probably the biggest one for him, a nationwide one, not a localized one. But it does corroborate what Brad Holmes said just last week when the Lions 53-man roster was cut on down, and then across the league, you had guys looking for new teams. Brad Holmes mentioned he was inundated with agents who had wide receivers who wanted to come play for the Detroit Lions. And now we have to ask, why is that? Is it because of MCDC? Is it because of the team? Is it because the national perception for this organization is perhaps at an all-time high, or at least an all-time high since the 1950s? Maybe that's fair to say. What we can say is we're probably going to have to expect more and more of this continued new reality we all live in. The Detroit Lions are America's team. They are the favorite darlings of the NFL. And let it sink in. We might even get favorable calls from officials because of it. I do expect you're going to see more and more players, maybe even some coaches, get more attention for commercials. MCDC himself may be among them. But whatever it is a new world. We are leading into the start of the NFL season. Real quick, let's get over to the Duke Crew and your comments and see what you guys have to say. But I'll say this. I thought he did a great job with it. I think he's a natural for the mic, for the television, for commercials because of his personality traits. All right, Bo. Woo! Funny ad. I don't have an Applebee's around, but I'll be eating there right now after that commercial. Fair enough. And they might have foreseen that coming. Maybe a Dan O'Damas there by Applebee's. Let's see, Giovanni. Woo! How you doing, by the way? Hopefully you're having a great day, my friend. Big D. Woo! Love you, Coach. 35-7 Rams score. By the way, just in case I forget to mention it, I'll try to remember every morning show or video. The link for Sunday night's football game is up. I did put it up there to start about a half hour or so before the game so we can go over some stuff. Anybody who's going to be in the comments section, we can go through it, etc. Talk about stuff before the actual kickoff. I'll run it through the whole game, just so you guys know. I will broadcast the whole game. One other thing, some of you are going to have a connection that's slightly behind mine. Some of you will be slightly ahead of mine. It seemed like from going through the preseason, it was anywhere from you were about 10 to 15 seconds ahead to about 10 or 15 seconds behind. So keep that in mind when watching. Joseph C., what's up, Lieutenant Dan? Not too much. I'm glad I got my legs, though. So how about that? Trumps, so when do I take over moderator? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Dan O'Donis can foretell that future. Mark, what up, though? What up to you, too? How you doing, Mark? Let's see. Silver Server, can I write? It does seem like you can write. Yes, I see your stuff on the screen. Silver, I guess I can. Yes, you can. Big D, yada, yada, buddy. Love your over the pond, bros and sisters. Yeah, you have to, man. We've got a pretty good following nation across the planet, I guess you could say. We've got people watch the channel from the Philippines, Hawaii, not that that's, not in the United States, but Canada, Mexico. I know there was one or two, I want to say, from China, and then maybe I'm sure there's other spots as well. Let's see, Big D, laughing out loud. Yeah, I thought he did a pretty good job with it. Mr. Nico, he is so natural, laughing out loud. Yeah, they did a good job with it. I give Applebees a lot of credit. They kept him in his element, and they pulled it off well. Some of that credit also needs to go to Dan Campbell, too, though, because acting isn't for everybody. Michael laughing. Yep, there you go. Boneless ribs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Chris, Lions ramming the Rams. I believe they will. And if you didn't know, I put my official score out there this morning. You can check out that episode of Lions Talk Live. I think the Lions are going to have a pretty good opening night. See, Silver, yo, Campbell, don't quit your day job. That might be true. Scott, watch from somewhere in some Somerset, Kentucky. Okay, watching. All right. Hey, hope you enjoy it, my friend, and hope you get ready for Sunday Night Football. I'd say, Joseph, heck yeah, go Dan Campbell, exclamation points. We love our coach. I believe so. I don't know if I've heard of anybody in the Lions fan base outside of maybe the first year he was around that have said anything in the last, at least say the last two seasons negatively about him. I do take that with a grain of salt and say, hey, after the 49ers lost, there were some people that probably threw some rocks at Dan Campbell. But outside of that, I think everybody gets quite the turnaround for this organization. A lot of that does need to go to the coaching staff, not just one person. But yeah, big turnaround, and everybody loves MCDC. See, Chris, stunt blitz every play. Cover your mouth. Yeah, I might have to cover your mouth. I will, and my friend, I will indeed. See, Silver, I need ribs now. Yeah, getting a little hungry, aren't you? Hookadoo, our last two stops, Super Bowl, then Applebee's, laughing out loud. That might be a great after the Super Bowl promo. Does MCDC or somebody else give a shout out? Hey, where are you going? And it won't be Disneyland. It will be Applebee's. They might have to get a plug there. Giovanni, Dan, is it possible that rapport between Stafford and his receivers beats Detroit's first time together? It's possible for sure. I think they've got an uphill battle, especially if the Lions defense makes them one-dimensional where the running game isn't very effective, because then play action isn't very effective. You will see the Lions receiving core, defensive backs jump some routes. I think the big question is going to be for the Rams, can their offensive line and defensive lines hold up? I'm not so sure they can, so we'll have to wait and see. Rich, Dan, I appreciate all you do for the Lions fans, but please don't call us America's team. I've always disliked the Cowboys saying they were America's team. Fair enough, man. I'll call it the Lions Nations team. How about that? Lions Nations unite. Let's see, Scott, can't wait for Sunday. Woo! Yeah, everybody's, I think, on pins and needles, and every day that goes by, we're one step closer to kickoff. All right, I'll get out of your guys' hair, let you get back to whatever you're doing. If there is some sort of breaking news, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, or whatever button, subscribe buttons. Just hit all the buttons. How about that? And we'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.